Coming up on this episode of Mind the Game.
I'm first all-time in points, but I'm also fourth all-time in assists.
Ahead of me, I think.
Maybe slightly.
Was there any moments during the nearly 1,300 games where you're like, oh man, I didn't think tonight was the night?
Yeah, I mean, there were some close calls for sure. And that was one of the moments where I was like, oh yeah, very easy could have ended, that night, for sure. My teammates make jokes with me all the time before I go out. They always say, well, it's going to be another LeBron record tonight. The first guy that ties his shoestrings 100 times in a game, LeBron James. It's not the player's fault on being able to master the rule book.
The one that I think we need to be careful of, just to make
I know which one you're about to mention, but go ahead.
I don't know if you are. I'm going to roll some clips of Shai's playmaking because I want to take a look at some things that I think he's taken a leap at, and I want to see how you feel about some of these plays.
This episode is presented by the all-new Alexa Plus. Your smart, proactive assistant now understands your style and anticipates what's next. Whether you need help finding a meaningful gift or planning a fun night out, you can enjoy a personalized experience based on your preferences. Say the word and Alexa delivers across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at amazon.com/new Alexa.
All right, we're back. Mind the game.
We're back, baby.
How we doing? I mean, the last time we talked, you hadn't quite come back yet. You were just practicing with the G League team, South Bay Lakers. How's the body? How's the mind? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm getting better. The ramp up has been a plus. The body is responding very well. Each and every day, as I get into, more conditioning and more training and I guess all that comes with just rhythm and time. So, it started off, just, slowly but surely, but, it's starting to pick up and the body is starting to respond very well. And I'm happy to be back out there. I'm having a good time. We're winning some ball games. Obviously, we dropped a couple, didn't play as well as we would like to, but playing some good ball.
Playing some very good ball recently. What's the last thing for you? Like conditioning, legs, travel, rhythm, timing? Like what was the last bit where you're like, oh man, I just need a couple more days?
Yeah, I think it's the travel. It's the travel and the conditioning. You're coming back, and I was here doing a majority of my ramp up and doing a majority of my rehab and everything. And then, we had our first East Coast road trip. We went to Toronto, Boston, and Philly, and first time in a minute that I changed time zones and, things of that nature. So my sleep pattern had got messed up and, routine was kind of messed up a little bit as well. So, that was challenging. And then also just, conditioning, like I said, missing those first few months, of the season and not being able to run, not being able to condition like I'm accustomed to. That takes away from the legs. Once, your heart rate goes too high or you start to feel a little tired and fatigued and your mind start going and your legs go as well. So, but definitely starting to feel a lot better, playing in longer spurts, being able to, do the things I'm accustomed to doing.
Yeah, it's nothing like playing, right? You can't simulate it no matter what you do.
Man, nothing.
Even like playing in practice scrimmages is not quite like game scrimmages.
Right.
I find it fascinating though you brought up the travel because I think that's something we take for granted, right? Especially if you haven't traveled for a while. Like the start of the season, you always are adapting back to that journey of time zones and travel and, 2 games in 3 nights or 3 games in 4 nights, 4 games in 5 nights, 5 games in 7 nights, 7 games in 11 days, and then maybe having like 2 games in 7 days. And like both ways, it's an adaptation. I don't know that fans sometimes understand, like we struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. We had 3 and 4 nights. We went on that East Coast road trip. We played Toronto on that Thursday, back to back, Friday in Boston and then Sunday in Philly. And then after the Philly game, we flew back to LA, which was a 5-hour and 45-minute flight. It's definitely taxing on all of us. Taxing on the body, taxing on the mind, going from different hotels and different elevators and all that, all that notion and different climate as well. But it's, it's all part of the journey, but it's challenging, but it's all part of the journey. You just try to take it all in.
What do you think is the hardest? I always felt like when we played in the West, when we went East on a road trip, then coming home West, that next game was the hardest one. Do you feel that too?
Absolutely. Always.
Yeah.
Because you're not on the East Coast long enough to get to East Coast time zone, but you're there long enough to actually get out of your, your local time zone, wherever that is, so it definitely messes with you. And like I said, that last game that we had in Philly, we played at 7, down to the wire game. We get on a plane 5 hours and 45 minutes back to LA. We don't get back to like 3:30 in the morning. So that very next day is like, you're spending the next day and a half just trying to get back to normalcy. Your sleep pattern is off. You don't sleep well, whatever the case may be. So that whenever that next game is, if it's 1 day, if it's 2 days, if it's 3 days, it's just going to be so odd and awkward for sure.
I miss the grind. I don't miss that part of it.
Right.
The 5 hours back home, like be messed up for a day. And then
Yeah. That's rough. It's rough.
Legs are gone when you tip off. You're like,
for sure.
Try to find yourself for like the first quarter now.
Yeah, it take you a little longer to start sweating, all that type of stuff. The ball feels a little different. It's a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Right? Oh, man, for sure. Well, already this season, you've had a historic streak come to an end. The longest streak in NBA history, you went 1,297 games with scoring 10 points or more. Like that's a crazy record. That's your floor, basically, is 10 points. It's insane over the course of like almost 1,300 games. Did you feel so confident in that you just thought like, well, this is going to last the rest of my career? Or were you like, no, it could happen any night?
No, I mean, for me, it was never even a thought, and, once people start talking about it more and more every day, obviously human nature kind of kicks in. I'm a guy that goes to the bench and I like to look at the stat sheet. I like to look at, team turnovers, my personal turnovers, fast break points, what we're giving up, points off turnovers, whatever the case may be. And I look what I'm shooting from the field. Like I like to be super efficient. I'd be lying to say that I don't know how many points I have at any given moment of the game, but I don't go in a game. I never went into the game during the streak saying, okay, I have to get 10 points. Like I have to keep this streak going. It would be a disservice to me in the way I play the game. And it showed in how the streak ended on how I've always played the game. It's just, how can we win? How can we win? Listen, I've done some incredible things in my career. And to be able to have a streak, to be able to be mentioned with some of the greats, to be able to live out my dream, it's all just like, it's surreal to me. So, but the one thing that's going to always be a common thing for me is just always making the right play. And for it to end in that fashion was literally just the way I was taught how to play the game. And I've always done it that way.
So for those who didn't see it, late game in Toronto, Bron has 8 points. How many were you down? Down 2?
We were tie game.
Tie game. Bron draws a crowd, makes a pass to Rui, I think, in the left corner. Rui hits a 3 for the game. Incredible pass, incredible play, made the right play, like you said. We talked about it before, earlier in your career, you used to take heat for not taking the last shot.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, right? Like you got to make the right play. And so here you go again with your streak on the line, you make the right play. But so clearly you were aware you hadn't got your 10 points?
Yeah, I was clearly aware. I was so not in the rhythm at that point. I don't even know how many, I think it maybe my 4th or 5th, maybe 6th game back. Yeah. I had no rhythm offensively. But the one rhythm I know that I will always have is the ability to draw a crowd and put the ball on time on target, So, I had a couple shots in that game where literally I had a 3 on the right wing that would have put me up to 11 points that literally hit all the rim, hit the backboard, came back around the rim again, and then came out. I was like, okay, it's one of those nights. Right. It's one of those nights. So, the mindset has always stood to obviously, at the end of the day, keep the main thing, and that's just winning the game.
Yeah, well, it was poetic that you ended your streak with a dime for game. Was there any moments during the nearly 1,300 games where it was the closest, where you're like, oh man, I didn't think tonight was the night?
Yeah, I mean, there were some close calls for sure. I remember I had a season in which I don't know if it was 2021 or 22 or maybe 20, I don't know, coming out of the bubble, and I was playing some of the best basketball of my career, even at that stage of my career. And we were playing in Atlanta, and my leg got rolled up on, and anytime that I've got sprained my ankle or my leg got rolled up on or whatever, I've had this routine of okay, you feel it, but let's just tighten the shoes. Let's tighten the shoes up a little bit tighter, and let's get going. And I played a little bit more through it. I was in the left wing, got a pass, hit a three. I think that actually put me up to 10 points, and my legs just started getting really, really hot. And I could barely run. And I had to come out of the game. And, basically long story short, I think I was out maybe 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. And that was one of the moments where I was like, oh yeah, they very easily could have ended, that night, for sure. And there was a couple other moments too, but that was definitely one that sticks out in the front of my mind.
I think that's what makes the streak so incredible is there's so many things that can go wrong. We're talking, like I said, 1,297 games. Like you said, in Toronto, ball gets every part of the rim, backboard rim, and goes out. Right?
Yeah.
That could have happened in any of those games where you didn't have it or whatever. But the most, I think, improbable part is that you didn't get hurt in a game before you got 10 points. So that was the closest. But that to your longevity, your durability, that's as much as your floor being 10 points, so to speak, and on a really weird, wacky, wild off night, it's also the fact that you never got, in all those games, had to leave the game before you had 10 points.
Right. Yeah, that is, because we see, a lot of our great players, today and in the past, whatever the case may be, have to leave the game in the first quarter, for whatever reason, or second quarter for whatever reason, and be under 10 points, and it's just weird. I'm super blessed, man, super humbled. It's just, I didn't even know it was a stat. I didn't know it was a record, and for me to be able to accomplish something in such an unbelievable league and with so many great players, it's just super cool.
Well, you kind of made it one because you went on so long. I think I don't know who was second, but if second is 500 and now you're 700 something past second, it becomes a big deal, right?
Yeah.
You're also the all-time leading scorer in the league. So what that's one though that you can't hide from, right? That's we project out, 5 years at this average, he's gonna pass Kareem. That one must have been more of a microscope, and it just builds and builds and builds. Obviously, there becomes a point where that's happening. What was that like? The flip side,
right? And I never set out a goal to be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. I looked at that number, as a rookie, as a high school kid, as a elementary kid, middle school kid, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is so many points. Not only so many points, it's so many years of dominance and longevity. Guys are not playing that long. Guys are not playing into their 20th year or 19th year or 21st year, whatever the case may be. And as the years went on and I started to pass guys, and I started to, feel like my body was not breaking down at year 15, 16, 17. And I kept climbing the ranks, and then they start doing those. Well, if you keep this pace up in 6 years, he'll be right here. If you keep this pace up in 5 years, if you keep this pace up in 4 years, and then it started becoming a realistic thing, because I felt like my body was not breaking down, and that's when it became a thing. If you keep this pace up, if he averages his average of 27 points, 25 points a year for 65 games a season for the next 4 or 5 years, then he'll be right there. He has a chance to break it. So, a few years back, it was like, in 35 games, 45 games, if he keeps this up, like, I was like, it started to become like nerve wracking and also like, oh my God, like, is this really a possibility? There's certain, there's certain stats in sports history that you just don't ever think that's going to be broken. And that happened to be one of them, and for me to be able to accomplish that feat while not trying to accomplish the feat, I think, that's even more like surreal to me. Like I'm first all time in points, but I'm also fourth all time in assists. So it's
ahead of me, I think.
Maybe slightly. So it's like, wow, it's just pretty cool, man. And for that moment to happen, family, friends, everybody. Kareem holds the ball to me, and gives me the ball, passes it down to me. Like, bro, that was
that's amazing.
Unbelievable, surreal moment. Unbelievable.
Yeah. As far as record books go, that's top of the top. I have 0 NBA records. I think I was for a minute leader in career free throw percentage. And then Stephed.
Man, Steph stepped you. We talked about this a lot with Steph. He stepped you.
He stepped me, which is cool. I mean, he's anything to be next to him is cool for me.
No, for
but
sure,
I never got to the top of the assists, but I did get to third until you and I think Chris, Paul. I'm not sure if someone else, but I got to third. So the funny thing about getting to third was they started to make a big deal out of it. You're almost third. It was Stockton, J Kidd, Mark Jackson, and then me. And so I'm playing for the Lakers, end of my career, body is broke. Kobe was out for the year with Achilles. I played 11 games, a total struggle the whole year with nerve damage and all sorts of stuff. And so, but I wanted to play, I was like, I wanted to play. And so Mike D'Antoni was our coach, and they were like, well, I was playing a bit, then I'd be injured, I'd play a bit of injured. They're like, well, you're getting close to this assist thing. And finally, they were like, hey, listen, like, we're not going anywhere this year. You guys have all been hurt. We want to play the young guys. We had like 3 younger point guards, and they asked me, and I was like, I get it. Okay, I'll sit down. Well, of course, like in a month, they all got hurt. So they're like, hey, do you want to play again? And I was like, yeah, I'll play. And so I started creeping closer to this record. Not that I thought, I got another year on my contract. I'll get it at some point next year. So I'm getting closer, but my body is also literally falling off a cliff. Like, I mean, like I can barely sit down. I can barely stand up. Like, I'm always uncomfortable. My body was a mess. So, but anyways, it comes to it. And I think I needed 7, 8, 9, 10 assists to pass Mark Jackson. And so Mike's like, hey, I know you don't feel well, but do you want to just play tonight? Just play until you get the assist, and then I'll pull you out. Because it was kind of like a development year. Like I said, we had a lot of injuries. Right. And I said, yeah, all right, let's do it. So I went out and played. I think we were playing Houston at Staples. And just limping around out there, 1 assist, 2 assists, 3 assists, like whatever. It finally got to whatever it was, 7, 8, 9, 10 assists in the first half. I got the assist. Mike subs me out. I walk straight to the locker room, get in the cold tub, start getting treatment. And so I'm 1 assist ahead of Mark Jackson. Little do we know, I never played in the NBA again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never played again because I came back. I didn't play the rest of the year. It was like in March, I think. Yeah. So March, April, I was banged up, didn't play, came back, and we talked about it.
On our
Steph Curry episode.
And you was like, no more. That's it. No more.
I retired in the next training camp. So it's
what a blessing. What a blessing.
I guess. I mean, I feel bad for Mark. I mean, he got passed by a secondhand car that was about to blow up on the side of the freeway, but by one. But I mean, it's cool to just be a part of those lists and history of the game when you love the game. I think we both feel like historians of the game in some small way. It's cool to remember those moments.
For sure.
The people you share it with, like me passing that on to you. Right. Like, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that.
No, it does not. It does not. You watch the game so much, man, as a kid and read about it and, you play it outside and you're making these moves, you counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the outdoor court, it's just a surreal moment. Like when you're able to step out on the basketball court, in the NBA, you look up in the rafters, you see the guys' numbers that's retired. You see they come to the games, from time to time. And it's just like, it's always a surreal, cool moment. And to, like you said, to piggyback what you said, as far as your name just being, in the same list, right below them or above them or whatever the case may be, you all have a key to the same house. You guys all dine in the same room. And I just think that's super cool.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any of those lists, records, things left for you? Or is there one that's in your mind that's like, you think about once in a while?
No, man, it's not. No, like my teammates make jokes with me all the time before I go out. They always say, well, there's going to be another LeBron record tonight. The first guy that ties his shoestrings 100 times in the game, LeBron James. Like they say I hold every record. The first guy that runs out of the tunnel and don't look down or whatever. It's like there's a record for everything. So I don't know what's on the list. I don't know if I'm coming up on something or if I just kind of, I've always been that way. And people come up to me and be like, did you know that you was, so like the other night, I had no idea that until after the game that I passed Robert Parrish for second most wins all time.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
No, I promise you, people really think I didn't know that. And they told me after the game, I think that was the Philly game, I think. In Philly, said I passed Robert Parrish for second all time and wins. And he actually sent out a pretty cool social media tweet as well too. So
that's cool.
Shout out Big Chief.
Chief.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So who's first in wins? Do you know?
If I would have to take a guess, I would say between maybe Kareem and Big Shot. Big Shot Bob.
Wow.
I would say maybe Robert Horry or Kareem, I would say. That's a good question. Let's look that up.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Yeah, look that up.
But, Kareem for longevity, you would think it'd have to be.
Yeah, I would think so. And I went off longevity over the top, but, obviously Big Shot plays so many games with so many great franchises, and they did a lot of winning between Houston and LA and San Antonio. And
yeah.
Yeah, so
it says Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with 1,074 wins, followed by LeBron James, the only active player on the all-time list.
There we go.
Wow,
it has to be Kareem.
1,074. Now, you know what my next question is? How many wins?
Leave me alone.
No. We're gonna have to start the hype train.
Where am I right now?
What did I say? 1,075?
You said 1,074 for Kareem, 74? I think, didn't you?
1,015.
No.
For you, 1,015. So I guess that means you got to come back next year. So
don't do
breaking
this,
the news.
Steve, don't do this. Don't do this. I'm not going for that record.
Well, I have a feeling that you might have no choice. It might be that.
Thank you to our partner, Alexa Plus. In basketball, the best plays happen when everything flows naturally. That's exactly what I love about the all-new Alexa Plus, your smart, proactive AI assistant. Chatting with Alexa Plus is as easy as talking to a teammate. You can flow effortlessly between topics, from checking your schedule to ordering groceries. It's like having a personal assistant that anticipates your every move. What really impresses me is how it puts thousands of services to work for you. Whether I'm controlling my smart home, planning my day, or finding the perfect restaurant, Alexa Plus handles it all. The best part? It learns your preferences, creating a personalized experience that's tailored just for you. And it's always ready when you need it, across Echo devices, Fire TV, or any compatible tech in your lineup. Want to see how Alexa Plus can change your game? Learn more at Amazon.com/new Alexa. Planning your next getaway? Looking for a new favorite vacation spot? There's one destination that I keep seeing popping up everywhere: Dubai. Let's say you want to spend your time relaxing at a nice resort or an even nicer beach, bonding with your loved ones. Dubai has something for everyone, regardless of your budget, and it's safe and secure. Great for the whole family. Dubai is definitely on my short list of places to go. I'd love to go up the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, to get in the red dunes, or to take part in some of the water sport and enjoy that great weather. With so many activities to choose from discovering natural attractions and local culture, to exploring luxury shopping options and nightlife. If you're a foodie, you'll find a diverse culinary scene filled with authentic cuisine and Michelin star restaurants. Dubai has it all. Sure, it's a little farther than, let's say, Europe, but when you fly Emirates, does it matter? Your Dubai trip starts the moment you board the aircraft. You'll fly better no matter which cabin you choose, and as the global airline partner of the NBA, they stream live NBA games. Plus, you get access to player profiles, documentaries, and more, so you can keep up with what's happening in the league at 40,000 feet in the air. How cool is that? Go to Emirates.com to book your trip now.
I'd love for you and I to highlight Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his incredible play. I think he's gotten better.
Yeah.
And, the reason I make that correlation on the streak is that I think he's, at the time of recording here, he's in the 90s of 20-game streaks. And so by the time this goes out, it'll probably be, knock on wood, somewhere around 100 or so.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty incredible milestone itself. But have you noticed that this guy, the MVP champion, finals MVP, he keeps getting better?
Absolutely. And not only, we're talking about the 20-point, streak of how many games, but doing it very efficiently too. Shooting at a high clip. Obviously, we know his mid-range game. I think he's even shooting his mid-range even higher than last year.
You are correct. You are correct. Yeah.
Which is outstanding.
It feels like he never misses in the mid-range.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Last year, he shot 50% from the mid-range. This year, he's up to 56% from the mid-range. I mean, that efficiency. He's the, as you were in different ways, you're the top of the scouting report every night.
Yeah.
And so for you to be that efficient when the other team's job is to try to beat you up, tire you out, scheme you up, whatever it may be, that efficiency is crazy.
No, that's crazy.
And the last 2 years, 52% on twos outside of 8 feet, just ahead of KD. So, I mean, just phenomenal from the mid-range and getting even better this season. So,
kudos to Shai, man.
Kudos. To go through some more, his three-point percentage has gone up like 7-8 points. He's up to 44% on 5 threes a game. So, think about Shai. You think about incredible in isolation, the mid-range, as we talked about, incredible drive rate, getting to the rim, incredible foul rate. I think in the top 1, 2, 3 last year, in the top 4 already this year. And all the while, he is committing like 1.5 turnovers. And so I think for a play, it's the lowest turnover rate of a player averaging 30 points for a season of all time. I mean, we don't think of Shai as a high assist guy, very good playmaker, but a high assist guy. But to only turn it over once when your usage, your degree of difficulty, your need to get your team on the score sheet, get to the foul line, like to not turn it over more like is exceptional. We probably don't talk about it enough.
That's body, his angles, the way he plays, his change of pace, and how tight his handle is. His handle is super tight. His change of pace is super tight. His angles, everything. Like he's just super, super detailed and efficient. And that championship, it actually makes you even go higher. You've been able to do it. You did it. You reached the mountaintop, and he's going even further now. Like you said, his usage rate, the number one of all time for a guy averaging 30, only having a little over 1 turnover a game. That is, that's excellent, almost perfect basketball right there.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think what I'd love to hear from you, like when you win a championship, a lot of people can take it in different ways. People could get complacent. People could feel pressure to do it again. Or, as it feels with Shai, is like a little bit like inspired by it and ready to, and like came back better. Yeah. How much he wants it, inspired by that. And also like, I'm playing on house money. Like I already won one. So he saw like, let me go higher. Tell me a little bit about that, the different ways you can approach winning in the next season.
It's either one or the other. It's either you go back to some of your old habits, or you use that as a launching pad. You use that as a lily pad to even take it further. And I think what it sensed to me is that Shai wants to be legendary. He wants to be known in this game for a long time, well after he's done. And he wants to set a mark not only for OKC, but also for his country, and for Canada, for his people, for his family. He wants to, set, you started it, Steve. And, when Vince went to Toronto, another buzz, and, you got DeMar, and Kyle, what they was able to do there. And now Shai is a huge part of that basketball community. So it seems like that, Canada, OKC, but then him. It seems like he wants to be great, and, greatness doesn't just come in 1 year or 2 years. It's done over and over and over and over. And he has that mentality. He's damn good out there on that basketball court.
Incredible. I compared him on Prime the other night statistically to MJ, as far as like a scoring guard, efficiency. Like it's hard, someone that grew up like me or start playing the game actually a little bit late, by 13 years old, like Air Jordan 1s, commercials with Spike Lee, this guy taking off. Like for me, he's like my hero, because you're still a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, right? But I can see, like statistically, you can't argue. Like he's doing things in that category at a scoring guard, right? So, I mean, it's phenomenal. But I'd say one thing where he has gotten better this year, and he mentioned this recently, was prioritizing his playmaking. I think a little over 7 assists a game. He's in more pick and rolls. The rating in pick and rolls has gone up from like 113 to 121, like a big jump. And it's just been incredible to watch him start to prioritize the playmaking, because I think what he's thinking is like, as in winning efficient basketball, as you have done your whole career, is you have to manipulate the defense. And I feel like he's starting to realize he wants to play that type of chess. That's important for him, right? And for him to continue to find new levels.
No, absolutely. And for them to continue to be as complete as a basketball team as they want to be and continue to maximize. If Shai is out there and he's making these plays and he could get the defense just to shift to Chet a little bit more, shift to J-Dub a little bit more, shift to Caruso a little bit more, Case and Wallace, shift to those other guys just a little bit more, because now Shai's making these plays and those guys are feeling in a rhythm. They feeling comfortable. They know the ball is going to come to them. Okay, guess what that does for Shai? Now that gives him the one-on-one opportunities. Now it gets him, the eyes off of him for a little bit of period of time, which we know he's very dangerous at already. He knows he has that game on lock. That's not going anywhere. What can also make him a better player is making sure those other guys be in rhythm too, and those other eyes that's out on the floor defensively are maybe shifting to some of those guys, because he can always be able to get his. He's just that good. So that's smart thinking. That's a great game plan. And obviously we can see why they're sitting here with only 2 losses, a little over a third into the season.
What do you think is the best game plan for Shai? I mean, obviously a game plan is in context of an entire team, but for him and that team, like what are the coverages? What are the game plans? Like what comes to mind for you?
You got to keep him off the free throw line, which is hard. Like I said, he uses these angles. he knows how to manipulate the game in a good way. You know, he knows what to do, what not to do. He's always looking for hands and arms and elbows. If you in his space, that's just our game right now. You got to respect it. It's the James Harden, how James was when James was dominant in Houston. So, but the more you could try to keep him off the free throw line, it helps, you know, because he's going to make his field goals. You know, Shai's going to make his 11 to 12 field goals a game at a high rate. That's already 24 to 25 to 26 points right there. He making 11 field goals. That's 22 points. If he made a couple threes, that's 24 points to 26 points. But if you're giving him also 12 to 13 free throws, when he shoots at a high clip too, now that's when 27 turns to 38. You know, and that's when it starts to become breakback. And you get 38 from him. You get another 25 from J-Dub. You get another 20, from Chet. Those bench guys come in. Isaiah Joe start making some threes. Like it's that.
For sure.
You understand that this the full team that you're playing against. The head of the snake is Shai, but you got to understand once he sees the ball go through from the free throw line, without having to another body on him, or some physical contact or somebody blitzing his pick and rolls or whatever, it just makes him even more dynamic when it also just trickles out to the rest of those guys. So you have to be disciplined. I know it's tough because you want to stop him so bad, but you have to understand that the greatest defense in the world has never been able to beat the greatest offense. Never.
For sure. That is NBA guys. I mean, defense wins championships, but in one particular play, offense.
Yeah, one particular play. You had the best defense ever for that one particular play.
Yeah.
But the best offensive play is always going to win that. Yes, defense does win championships, but for sure, in one particular play, you've got to live with the result. If you did your job, you tip your hat to them.
Yeah. That's the genius of the greats, right? But talking about his free throw rate. You would. It's at the end of the day, there's a math element, right? Like, how do you score more points, and in what fashion, and so. But you're right. Like, I think you did that through scoring and playmaking. That was how you broke the math in a game. He does it from scoring and the free throws, and now he's adding the playmaking.
Yeah.
The free throws, though. Look, I know people complain sometimes about grifting and all that, but this is within the rules. He's, and I actually think. While maybe he sells one or two, the vast majority he gets fouled, and it's an art the way he does it. He's got to be up there with anyone in the game as far as being able to force defenders into fouls.
Yeah, it is what the rules is, and he's figured out a way to mastermind the rule book. That's not a problem. It's not a crime. It's not the player's fault on being able to master the rule book.
Yeah.
It's not the player's fault.
I agree.
And I know our fans, get a little upset with it or sometimes, or even some of the, I even get, sometimes upset with
in
it.
In the moment,
but also I got to understand what the rules is. And, you got Shai, James still is very good at it. You got Luka who's very good at it. AR is very good at it.
Yeah.
So you have these, you have these guys, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, like these guys are really, really good at it. And they figured out a way to, get in the rhythm. Like scores, the best way for a scorer to get into a rhythm is get an easy basket at the rim or get to the free throw line. That would never change. I don't care if teams start shooting 100 threes a game. For a scorer, you get a layup or get to the free throw line. That's the best way to get your rhythm going. So we got some of the best guys in the league to understand how to do that.
It's also a winning formula. So you can set your defense.
Absolutely.
He's an 80, I think 8 or something % free throw shooter. You set your defense. You set that OKC defense. Your team's winning a lot of those possessions. I get it. I get why fans don't like the disruption to the flow of the game.
Yeah.
At the same time, for me, when I watch these guys, any of them, like take your pick, I think it's amazing, the art and the body control and the feel for playing against their man within the context of the rules. I think it's an art. I think it's an art.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The one that I think we need to be careful of, just to make a slight
I know which one you're about to mention, but go ahead.
I don't know if you are. it's sometimes when the defender, offensive player, and they close the gap, and right when they're closing the gap,
a guy takes off.
It's like a little bit of a embellishment.
Yeah,
I think we got to let a little bit of contact. If he comes over and knocks him, or he draws him to him and goes through a shoulder, 100%. But it's the marginal one where they come back and it's that's the one that I think we got to make.
And I don't remember. Yeah, and I don't remember when that kind of changed. It's kind of happened over like the last couple of years when that, like you're saying, that bang bang, play happens. And guys are just like, soon as they feel that kind of, it's
smart. They put the onus on the referee. I would just like that one of all the ones to make sure there's enough contact there. Like, I think if it's so often it's just marginal. Right. I think we got to let them play like a couple times of like, get up, keep playing. Guys will take that one out of their bag.
Yeah, for sure.
The one where the guy closes too hard, he baited him to close, and then he goes through a shoulder, like, no problem. It's a foul every time.
We had a couple in our game last night against Phoenix that I was like, they went against us. I was like, that's not. It's just not a foul. It's just not a foul. Yeah. It's not a foul.
Being a Phoenix Sun, I think there were fouls. But I do think that's the one where it's marginal contact and there's some embellishment. Absolutely try if you're an offensive player, but I think that's the one the game could do with making sure there's enough contact that they're not just looking for that slight thing and then going over.
Yeah, I agree. I
want to look at some clips of Shai's playmaking because I want to take a look at some things that I think he's taken a leap at, and I want to see how you feel about some of these plays. So here he is, little fake reject, get a little space, draws a crowd, just a simple early pass. Like there's a time for him where he could slither into the paint here on Gobert, but he feels that defender slide up. And just like you said earlier, him making the play for his teammate comes back to him later.
Yeah, that's just it's an easy read, but it's not always easily executed, especially by a lot of our guys in our league. And you got Ant that's high on the high shift. And you got Kaysen Wallace that's at the level of the ball and his defender right now. And just that one little drift by Kaysen just gets him a real, even a better shot, a corner three. And that's just a great on-time, on-target, pass from Shai. Make or miss, it's the absolute 1,000% right play.
All right, here we go. Another simple early pass. I mean, this stuff, it's nice. You've made all the passes in the book, but sometimes the most gratifying one is the simple early pass. Just to tell the defense, you can't play me like this. You can't just stand chest to chest in the middle of the paint and leave my teammates open. And then you encourage your teammates that no pressure, shoot it every time, drive it, make plays.
Right. And we know that a lot of our great scorers, Shai included in the past, possibly would have even tried to, low dribble split and hopefully get the rake foul from Devin Booker with his arms out like that. Try to low dribble, rake his arms up, maybe try to get to the free throw line, maybe get the foul, maybe not. But, I just think this is just his progression of his, maturation process as a player, just literally making the right play. Guys in front of the ball, right in front of you, get off of it, make or miss by Mitchell, great play.
I also think once you make a couple of those plays, it gives you leeway to try other things later.
Yep, absolutely.
If he wants to attack that help defender, he can later. But if it's every time attacking him, I think it puts you in a tough position now where they're winning the battle and they there's no more cat and mouse.
Yeah,
playing cat. Should I be in? Should I be out? Make them insecure.
Yep.
So I love this clip. Okay, first of all, this is a good defensive team. Draymond Green is receiving him on this pick and roll, not an easy person to sneak passes by. So just him feeling this slip out, getting below Draymond, and then an early, quick. This is where I think he's also improved. He's gotten slicker in his deliveries, if I can use that word, where the ball time from the floor to the hand to the pocket has gotten quicker and more urgency. And so gets in a rim attempt, and a foul here. And what that does for me, it's not, again, like I keep saying, in these pick and roll scenarios, it's about manipulation. It's about setting the table for how the game's going to be played. So Draymond takes a liberty here and allows his man to get behind him because he says Shai is the number one focus. And so Shai says, well, if you're going to stay above your man and shade me, I got to make this pass. So he's willing to make an early, simple pass here. It's a simple read. It's not a simple pass.
No, absolutely not. Especially against a great defensive team, especially against Draymond, who's seen every playmaker, make plays over the last 15 plus years. Seen a lot of great scores. And it's just like you said, it's a simple play, but not a simple pass. He saw that opening right away when Draymond allowed, Jalen Williams to get below him on the roll. And obviously Draymond he's playing on the caution of, hey, I got to stop the head of the snake. Hopefully my back line of defense got me covered back there. Obviously they wasn't protected, didn't have a low man, from the weak side low man. But that's just a good pass, on time, on target. And, once again, putting OKC at the free throw line where they're just very good at it.
It's also, that's a tricky angle because who's the low man there? In another step, it's the corner he just came from, but step before, it's the other corner. So it puts those two help baseline defenders in a very difficult position. But again, Draymond's quite happy for him to make the play to him behind him because Shai's the number one. But if he does that 2 or 3 times, it puts him in a tougher and tougher position.
Yep.
Empty side here.
Yep, empty side. Here come on the green, the double.
Great, simple pass. Great timing. So they flood.
Yeah, they flood
the baseline
Hartenstein.
defender.
That flub, yeah. Precious Achiuwa has no idea where he has no idea where the ball is right now.
So he should be head on a swivel, passing the cutter off.
Passing the cutter off. Yeah, just sitting on top of Hartenstein's leg and then take the corner pass. But listen, that pass, he read that, Shai read
Turned
that pass to the corner before it even happened. As soon as he seen Precious head turn, he knew that pass is open. You got Eubanks up there with Chet. He's hugging him too. So you got a 4 and a 5 man on the perimeter to try to be in rotations which they are not accustomed to doing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. As soon as he saw that head turned, he knew, I can throw this right over top of him. It makes it very hard to rotate to. Great recognition.
Great recognition.
All right, here we have like a pretty standard pick and roll, 2 help side defenders on the weak side. What I like about this is they're high on Shai here. They've got him in this pocket here. He could try to skip this to the corner, but the reality is a skip to the corner is so far over high hands that low man's going to get back out. So that by hitting Hartenstein on the roll here, he makes the low man rotate. And so then he can make the hockey assist. He passed to Hartenstein, who throws it out, and you get a wide open one instead of potentially the skip pass here under pressure where that low defender is going to be there on catch. So I think this is a smart pass that manipulates for later in the game again. Yeah,
and I think, when you have a dynamic roller like Hartenstein, who's very good in the pocket, not only with his finishes, with his nice touch shot floater, but also with his ability to play make, it gives Shai a lot more confidence too to make that pocket pass to him, on that short roll. So that's a pretty good dynamic between the two players. Versus a very good athletic defensive team too in Minnesota.
That's a great point. I mean, to give your big the ball above the free throw line where he's got the high stunt, a lot of bigs are going to lose it to this guy stripping him, but he's able to handle the pass, handle the defender, and then read the low man and make the read. So, it is, but that's his recognition too, right? That's a great play by Hartenstein, but that's Shai's recognition that I can give him this ball here and he'll make the play.
Absolutely.
Little flare action to a DHO. So I think he's improved at this. This one in particular with the left hand is, and you can talk to this, LeBron, is that what it does to a defender when you don't have to pick the ball up with 2 hands. But off the flow of the dribble, you can bait the defender. Because while that ball's hovering, that hang dribble here, Rudy's like, I don't know. He might attack me. So he can't
because he has the ability to attack right there, too. He has a gap.
Right.
He has a gap.
So Rudy kind of is like a second late where he lets Hartenstein get below him, again, like we talked about. And Shai knows that if I don't pick this ball up, I can thread the needle underneath Rudy, and he's never going to get his hips back around to wall up here. So I think this is a very slick delivery that gets your team rim attempts by not picking it up out of two hands.
No, that was big time. That's a big time pass right there. And we see Shai too with that offhand make a lot of like, pick up without bringing the other hand, layups with the left hand, off glass or whatever while he's, in the paint, whatever the case may be. And, that left hand, that thread right there, keeping the same momentum as Hartenstein as he rolling. That's a dynamic pass for sure. So his playmaking is definitely, we seeing it right there in just those 5 clips, how much his playmaking has, gotten better over the years.
And if you're Rudy and he hangs that ball up and he threads that needle, the next time he hangs that ball up, you're backpedaling as hard as you can. And he's going down the lane with no resistance. So there's a thought to him. There's a manipulation. There's a cat and mouse going on that I think is taking another level. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, it is fun to watch.
The American Express Platinum Card is now better than ever with updated benefits to help you unlock unforgettable experiences. You can access the largest global airport lounge network and global hotel program with a suite of benefits as compared to other credit card programs. Plus, with dining benefits at over 10,000 US Resi restaurants and exclusive access to unique experiences worldwide, Platinum membership means you can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. There's nothing like being there in person, cheering with the crowd and hearing your favorite artist play that song. When you're with Amex Platinum, those experiences can become even more unique. With access to curated events and experiences, you can get the most out of your favorite events and create memories that will last long after the lights go down. With an array of premium travel, dining, and entertainment benefits, all backed by American Express's award-winning service, Platinum membership brings experiences to a whole new level. It's true what they say, there's nothing like Platinum. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withplatinum. Now a word from our director, Jason, from one of our sponsors, DraftKings.
NBA stars are lighting up the court this holiday season, and DraftKings Sportsbook puts you in the game. With superstar matchups and primetime moments, now is the time to make your picks. DraftKings turns your basketball knowledge into action. Create same-game parlays for bigger potential payouts, or jump into live betting as momentum shifts throughout the game. New customers, listen up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code MIND. All new customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Minimum odds of -500 required. And if sports betting isn't available in your state yet, check out DraftKings Pick 6 for a chance at cash prizes. Things can change quickly during a game. DraftKings gives you the power to bet and react in real time through their seamless app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code MIND when you sign up. New customers who bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets when their first bet wins. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Help My Game fan questions of the week.
Okay.
Here's one from Slim Brady 44 on X.
Slim Brady.
Come on, Brady. I'm under 6 feet and love basketball. What individual skill should I prioritize working on in practice as the shortest guy on the court?
No, that's cool. There you go, Steve. Great question for you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. You take it, shorty. No, but I think when you're an undersized player, you have to be a combination of things. You can't just be one thing, right? You have to try to use different skills. So the one place I would start is skill set. Like how tight can your handle be? Can you handle the ball, protect the ball? Can you make clean passes on time, on target? Then to take the next step, how well do you shoot the ball? Now, how much pressure do they have to put on you because of your shooting threat that makes you, relieve pressure and get by people? So there's the skill set side of it. I would start with ball handling and shooting, finishing, passing, all the skills. But the other part of it is you have to be tough-minded. Yeah. You have to be relentless. You have to be willing to stick your nose in there, dive on the floor, take charges, do all the things that can get your team an extra possession that you can't get because of your height, length, wingspan. So
and
that would be my start.
Yeah, and I'll add a little bit to that. And how well is your conditioning? If you're undersized, how long, for the time that you're on the floor, can you pick the opposing point guard up 94 feet and turn them 3 or 4 times in the backcourt, you know, create some turnovers, create havoc, things of that nature. Like you said, put your body on the line, take charges, dive for loose balls, get 50-50 balls. So like conditioning, you know, well, you know, if you're the best conditioned guy out there, that's one thing that height and weight and size and athleticism, you know, those things can't deter with that. So I think that's a part of it as well. So,
yeah, I think, you know, to sum up both thoughts is you might not be the tallest, but there's plenty out there for you to do if you control the controllables.
Yep.
Control the controls. Be the best ball handler, shooter, best conditioned, most resilient, great teammate. All those things add value to your team that don't have anything to do with size and strength. So good luck to you.
Slim Brady.
Slim Brady 44. Thanks for watching Mind the Game. New episodes drop every other Tuesday. Remember to like, subscribe, or follow wherever you're watching.